Hello and happy to see you here. Today we're going to talk about self awareness, what and why it's necessary, especially in our businesses and in our everyday life. We started off talking yesterday about a mindset, and I went over some things that I wanted to share to, help you and some of the things that I have used and grown from with my mindset. And so today I wanted to talk about self awareness because that is also important. And I'm going to start off with a definition for you. But first of all, before I get into that, I got notes here, around for what I'm going to talk about today. But before that, as you're hopping on, let me know where you're coming in from and let me know what you think about this part of our mindset, this part of self-awareness, and then we'll go from there because I don't know that I was aware when I was much younger. And I don't know, I know that there were things that I thought of, and in one of the stories that I talked about yesterday, um, I just noticed some differences between me and the people that I was around, and it kind of was a lift up for me. So I'm hoping that that was the same for you, and that you have some people that you're around that pull you out of where you're at to help you keep growing and doing things that you're really meant to do. So let me go on and first of all, before I go any further, introduce myself to those of you that I haven't had the pleasure of meeting. My name is Cherie Woodard, and I help business builders and entrepreneurs to use social media to get prospects, leads, and sales in their business. And I know this doesn't seem like that would be a part of that, but it really is a part of it. And so, and the other things that I do are I use attraction marketing, I use lead generation and live video, and as well as giving updated and trending strategies and tips to help you to be the best that you can be in your business, building your business. And I'm out there just like you, building my business. I'm in a mentorship program where I'm learning and growing from that, and just getting some of the information that I didn't have before because I started off as a nurse, a registered nurse, and I did that for 40 years. And then the bottom dropped out, and I needed to do something to support my family. And so then here I am now building, my business and out there with so many others that are doing that, and some having success and some getting a little lost. So anyway, let me just go on and get started here. I want to give you a definition of what I found when I looked up self awareness. And there was a lot of information, but this is what I found. Self awareness, and I'm going to just kind of read it to you real quick. Self awareness is the ability to focus on yourself and how you act and your thoughts and emotions and those kind of things that you do, and finding out, are they in alignment with the person that you are, or are they just something that you picked up, and and you haven't really aligned it with yourself to say, do you need this or don't you, do you want to go this way or don't you, do you want to grow in value in your business, and or not, do you want to have a better family life, and if so, this can help you by being aware of what's happening with you. And that's just my way of saying it. And I mean, self-awareness for me, I didn't know what to call it back in the day, but I did have a little bit back then, and it caused me to start to look at myself when I got out of the area that I was in, when I got away from, college and wasn't around the students that I was around. then I started to want to look further and go, just not stay where I was, you know, and so, I that's what I did. I just continued to progress and get to, still keep the friends that I had. Some of them maybe not, but I kept friendships and kept growing friendships with people that were on the move, people that lifted me and said, you could do this. Why don't you, go, why don't we take this class together? Why don't we go into becoming emergency medical technicians, for example? That's one of the things that took me from being a unit secretary behind the desk in a hospital, taking off orders and doctor's orders and the phone calls and scheduling tests and all that type of stuff. It took me from that to becoming an emergency medical technician, which then took me to further to where I did become a registered nurse. I just started to continue to grow and see that there was more that I could be doing and making myself better helping other people. So that's one of my little stories. So for me, I did have to uh, figure out if what I was doing was aligned with what I wanted to do from in here. And so that was the definition that I gave you, and a little bit of an example, a little bit of a story. I guess my tongue is twisting with the little bits, but anyway. And then the importance of it. Why is it important to be self-aware? For me, and the research that I did, it's important to know what you're doing, why you're doing it. Um, does it align with you, as I said earlier? Is it, something that, you need to change maybe because it does not align with you and the person that you're growing into? There's just so many things that, you know, I mean, like, say a thought pops in your head, you know, and it's a negative thought, but you don't think about it because maybe you're not self-aware. You get up in the morning and you don't even realize, what's happening with your day. You just get up, and some people, how they say you got up on the wrong side of the bed. Well, that happens because sometimes people aren't aware. And I've learned to, and I'm not perfect at it, and I'm not even close to perfect at it, because I have to tell you this, that I if you don't continue to be self-aware, you can end up like me. And I was very self-aware, I thought. And then I thought I had it, I don't want to say had it going on, but I thought I had it going on with my awareness of me and what was happening with me, and stopping to take a minute to figure that out. As I became a parent of two, young boys, two, when I first got them, they were babies. I found that I lost that self awareness because I was so busy between my boys and raising them as a single parent and working, and then working full time. And then on top of that, the activities that we had. So I wasn't thinking, and certain things would happen and I'm like, well, what, oh, and I'm like, just, I don't understand, what did I do, what didn't I do, or whatever. Well, and that's kind of late in the game. But if you stay self-aware early on and keep doing it, then you fare better. I ended up having a lot more trouble than I would have if I had kept myself aware, if I had asked myself some questions. What are you doing? Why are you working so hard? Why, I made sure I spent time with my kids. It's our, Fridays, when I got off from work, because at the time I was a supervisor. So which was great. It worked out really well for me and my kids for a while, and then after that, I went back into just gave up the position of supervisor and went back to just working, and that was that was even harder because I was doing different shifts and making sure that I got my kids taken care of, and trying to do this and that and signing up for this, and we were very active in um uh I can't remember judo. We were very active at the gym, and swimming, judo and stuff like that. And you just, if you don't continue to be self-aware, then you lose what's happening with your thoughts, what's happening with your mind. You lose certain things, and it can cause you a lot of issues. So for me, as I started to get older and my boys were growing up, then there's the teenage struggle, the thing back and forth with your teens. And so I was losing myself, and and it's not a good place to be. So for me, um I had to eventually, I did become more self-aware and start actually reassessing myself and checking myself out. Okay, what's happening? Why are you crying? Okay, when you're waking up this morning and you have this negative thought, why is it there? What are you going to do about it? Let's change it to positive. We don't want to be negative because negative is stressful and your life is stressful enough. So, I would just talk to myself, but it took me a while to get back there because my boys are in their 20s now, but it was just so much that was pushed into each other. Now, before, I had time to think about myself and I asked my friends what they thought about me and so on, as I mentioned yesterday. But, as I was going through the adopting of my boys, and I got them at different times, they're almost 5 years apart. And I, was just so busy and working all the time and trying to make sure that I had, what I needed, the funds to take care of this and that, and get my kids what they needed and what they wanted to a certain degree, and parenting. And I was doing it by myself with the help of I have uh, two sisters and one of my brothers really helped me out, especially when I was on call and working and that kind of thing. But basically, that is why it's important, because you can lose yourself and you can end up where you don't want to end up. And so for me, it was so important to become aware. And after I figured it out, um, to become aware and make sure that I was going in the area, in the direction that I wanted to go in my journey. So, and then the last thing I want to say about self awareness is it's so important, which I've kind of said already, to become aware. Become aware of what your thoughts are doing. Become aware of what your mouth is saying. Become aware of what you're saying to yourself. Oh, that was so stupid. Oh, I can't believe I did that. That was so dumb. You are dumb, that kind of stuff. When you're self-aware, then you have a tendency not to, do that, because you catch those thoughts, you catch those words, those things that you're saying to yourself and about yourself, and you can stop it and you can change it to positive. And that takes action. It takes being aware. It takes caring about yourself and doing that self-care that we so need. So I don't want to keep you today any longer. And I know I had a lot to say. I haven't seen anybody hop on with where they're coming in from, but remember, you can always catch this on the replay and you can comment then, or you can just comment later when you have time today. And let me know what you think about this, and how important do you think it is to be self-aware, especially when you're building a business or you're already in business and maybe things are going well, but being aware of what's happening around you is also important. So, but mainly, I want you to be self aware so that you can take care of yourself and not lose yourself because I lost myself. My identity was a mom and a nurse, and that was basically it. I lost all of the other stuff that was a part of who I am. And then when I became disabled and couldn't do the nursing anymore, then it was such a hard fall. But that's all I'm gonna say for now, and, I'll have another topic, tomorrow, along the same lines. We're just doing mindset, this week, and, if you have any questions, remember you can always message me in Messenger, and if you wanna go any deeper with this, you can always, check with me there, and we can have a conversation, or, you might just wanna ask a question and I can answer you, and we could go from there. So, thank you for coming. I much appreciate your being here. I hope that you did get some value out of this. And I'm going to go on and get out of here. Have a good rest of the day wherever you are in the world. Take care. Bye now.